We sit and wonder why God has us where He does. A living sacrifice to be an example to the world, so that everyone can see His goodness and His mercy, how His grace covers me. You gotta go where God leads. You gotta shine so people can see. You gotta grow where you are and know that God will keep you. You gotta go where God leads. You gotta shine so people can see. You gotta grow where you are and know that God will keep you. Many are the plans of man, but only God's plan will prevail. Don't be weary in well-doing. All you have to do is keep going. Have faith and believe, and know one day you'll receive all the blessings that's for you. He is going to see you through. You gotta go where God leads. You gotta shine so people can see. You gotta grow where you are and know that God will keep you. You gotta go where God leads. You gotta shine so people can see. You gotta grow where you are and know that God will keep you. Greater is He that's in me than he that's in the world. I am an overcomer. I'm more than a conqueror. Greater is He that's in me than he that's in the world. I am an overcomer. I'm more than a conqueror. Greater is He that's in me than he that's in the world. I am an overcomer. I'm more than a conqueror. Greater is He that's in me than he that's in the world. I am an overcomer. I'm more than a conqueror. Gotta go where God leads. Where God leads. Gotta shine so people can see. They can see. Gotta go where you are. Where you are. And know that God will keep. He will keep. Gotta go where God leads. Where He leads. Gotta shine so people can see. They can see. Gotta grow where you are and know that God will keep you. You gotta go where God leads. Where God leads. Gotta shine so people can see. They can see. Gotta grow where you are. Where you are. And know that God will keep. He will keep you. Go where God leads. You gotta shine so people can see. You gotta grow where you are. Where you are. And know that God will keep you.
All right, all right. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Turning Dreams into Reality, Dr. Taskeka Green Show. We are so excited to represent her today here in the studio. I am here with two of my sisters, the Extreme Makeover speakers, the awesome Patricia Richmond on my right. Whoop,
Yes.
whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
And the great Andrea Jackson
Yeah,
on my
baby,
left. Hey,
yes.
listen, you got to have the right people on your left and on your right. No, that's right. So we are so excited to be here to talk about our conference that's coming up on October the 20th, Extreme Makeover Conference. But before I get started, guys, I want to give respect where respect is due. Right. And I want to acknowledge Dr. Taskeka Green tonight. Yes. Do you guys know that they will be celebrating their 4th annual Deborah C. Arthur Bulgin Women of Virtue Walking in Excellence Gala.
Yes.
I am so excited about going to that gala tonight.
Me as well.
But the founder of To Every Season, by Dr. Taskeka Green, she has this gala every year where they honor women of virtue that's making a difference in their community, that's impacting lives worldwide. And so she has quite a few honorees tonight. I was blessed to be one of the honorees last year at her gala, and she is doing a mighty thing. She's an educator. She's an inspirational speaker, just an activist, just such an awesome author, just doing so many great things in society and the communities. And so we acknowledge and honor you today, Dr. Taskeka Green. That's my sister. I love her. And so, but just we looking forward to attending the gala tonight to see all of the honorees and to spend some time with people that are making a difference. So right now we're coming before you to talk about our conference, the Extreme Makeover Conference for the family. So it's for ages 12 and up. And we come together every year for this conference. And I am blessed to have some of the most amazing servant leaders that's going to speak to you in a few minutes to talk about the conference and how it's impacting the lives of all of our guests that attend and their topics that they will be covering and so on. And so I want you to hear what you're going to get a taste of. So I want to encourage you to go to www.jonesjewels.com. Jones, Jones, JEWELS.com, and register for the conference. Please. It's from 9 to 4. And let me tell you, that time goes so fast. Do you know, Pat, remember the last conference we had, we couldn't get the people to leave. They did not want to leave. We was like, guys, the conference is over. Done. And so they did not want to leave. That's how impactful it was. Yes. And this for men. We have a men's workshop. We have a women's workshop. We have a youth workshop for ages 12 to 17. Bring the whole family because like we often say, Andrea, people go to a women conference, they go to a men conference, but there's nobody having a family conference where the whole family can come into the room and be made over. Yes. And how many people know that we need a tune-up on a daily basis? We have to get a tune-up because this thing called life can kick you in the gut sometimes. And you have to take time out and invest in yourself, which we're not good at doing something. We're just not good at investing in ourselves. But this is your opportunity to bring the whole family to the conference. From 9 to 4, we have vendors. We have space available for the vendors. Shout out to our Extreme Makeover speaker, the awesome Shantae McPhee. Oh my gosh, she's absolutely amazing. And the coordinator for the vendors, really reach out. We go on the website. Her number's on there if you're looking for a vendor spot. And so it's going to be absolutely amazing. So I could just go on and on about it, but I do have other people here with me. So let's them talk about how they feel about the conference. So Pat, let's go with you first. Let's talk about the conference and how you feel it's impacting our guests that attend the conference. And, what do you get from it? Because, it's so awesome. I'd be like, I want to pay for a ticket and just attend.
You be sitting there like this.
Yes, it's so amazing. So talk about your role there and how you feel about the conference.
So, again, my name is Patricia Richmond, and I am one of the speakers for the conference. And let me just talk about the past conference, because is this our second year that we're doing it, or third?
Yes, second year.
Second year. So the conference is called the Extreme Makeover Conference because we're dealing with the areas of your physical, your emotional, your spiritual, your mental, and that money, your financial. Yes. And so when you come to this conference, like she said, it's for teens, adults, everyone. We're going to dive into those areas and begin to help you recognize where those areas may need to be made over. And at this conference, you're going to get some tools. You're going to get some nuggets. You're going to be able to grab things that will help you take back and practically apply. We're not going to be talking so over your head that you can't do anything, but you will have homework in terms of what did you get? What were some of the things that the speakers shared with you, things that you can take back? So at this conference, we're going to help you recognize, and the lovely Andrea has pointed out that we got so many cycles that we go through. Yeah. And so this conference, we're going to deal with some of the cycles that happen to us in life that come and, like she said, kick you in the gut. And for my cycle, one of the cycles, and we're talking about things you need to break, okay? Some cycles we need to get in, like the cycle with the Holy Spirit, okay, and do right by God. But the cycles, some of them that we need to break. great. And for example, the one I'm going to talk about is that cycle of procrastination that can have you going around and around, and you never get done what you have been called on this earth to do. So I'm going to encourage you and inspire you to look at it. Look at why we procrastinate. A lot of it's built around fear. I know that's why I procrastinate. A lot of it's built around fear and perfection, thinking that I got to have everything on point before I move forward. But baby, somebody needs you.
Amen.
Somebody's waiting on you. And so I am going to encourage you in my session, and I'm going to be with the women. God bless. I love women. Somebody say, I love the women.
I love the women.
I love the women.
We
and
love
so I
men
want
too.
to encourage.
We love men.
Promise you we love men. Yeah, stay right there. But what I'm saying is, I want to help our women break the cycle of unhealthy procrastination, because there are some things we need to delay, and that's just what procrastination means. It means to delay a decision. It's just delaying your decisions. And so I want to help women recognize when we are delaying unhealthy things that we should not be delaying. And then when we're going through things that we're procrastinating on things that we shouldn't. And then there's other things that we need to be doing that we don't.
Yes.
So I wanted to slow down and do that. So get to the conference. Register today, www.jonesjewels.com, and let's talk about it. And we talk about it raw, fresh, and we don't sugar it all up. It's
ain't gonna be no sugar coat. Sugar's not good for you.
Right. We don't need no sugar. But we want to love you. We want to love you past your cycle. We want to accept you right where you are, because we all in one cycle or another. And so we're going to come and help you at this conference. It's a one-day all-in deep dive where you can turn your phone off and you can just be focused. You go from your session, men's session, women's session, single session, general session. We're going to bless your life. And guess what? Because you're already great, when you come in the room, you're going to bless our life. So we need your energy in the room.
Yes.
God is calling you out of comfortability and bringing you to a place where you're going to get some instructions and some tools so that you can go help your circle. Because all of us got a circle of influence that we need to take care of. And what God has charged us to do is help you get that money right, get your spirit right, get your physical man right, get your mental state. Because how many know that mental thing has gone off the charts in the world?
Absolutely.
It has gone off the charts. And so we're going to talk about it, and we're going to help you emotionally, because some of us are making emotional decisions that are taking our lives down a road that it should not be.
Yes.
So with that said, I'm going to pass it to you.
And you know what, Pat? High emotions equal low intelligence. So when we make emotional decisions, we don't make intelligent ones.
I like it.
And
yes.
so when we look back over our life, when some of the poor decisions we made it when our emotions was very high.
Yeah.
And then after we settled down, we realized I shouldn't have done that. I knew better than that. That's not even who I am.
Yes.
Thank God that, I was telling my organization earlier that I love listening to Pastor Stephen Furtick. And his last sermon he did was on reputation and rehab. And he said, Pastor said to him, protect your reputation because you only get one. He said, I'm so glad that's not true. He said, because we made some poor decisions in our life, and so we have an opportunity to rehab our reputation. He said, God told me, be more concerned about you. You be concerned about your integrity, and I'll protect your reputation.
I love it.
And so we got delivered from some things and the choices we made that we weren't happy with, but you can restore. Yes. You can be restored. Yeah. And that's why going to conferences like this helps you to rebuild the person, because you're created in his image. So you're great already. But you have to be in the room where that greatness could be pulled out. You have to have mentorship, because that's why the word of God says when two or more touch and agree. Right. If you go in isolation and trying to figure this all out by yourself and wonder why you're never getting ahead, it's because you're trying to do it by yourself. Right. And so idle mind is truly the devil's playground. But when you come into a conference like this and you hear from these great speakers that we're going to bring before you, we brought the best of the best into this conference from the DMV area. It's going to absolutely impact you, and immediately immediately you're going to be able to apply what you learned and go out and be in a better position than what you walked in the door with. You will not leave the same person. So that's awesome. Andrea, I want you to talk about how the Extreme Makeover has impacted you. And what did you notice? What are some of the things you noticed about our guests after attending that Extreme Makeover conference?
Okay, so the Extreme Makeover, okay, first of all, the microphone is freaking me out. I feel like I'm like in stereo. But so the Extreme Makeover in and of itself, years ago, I guess around 2010, 11-ish, you wrote a book called The Extreme Makeover. And so that's kind of how all this came about and it started. But knowing that I've been through that process, just being around you, and I've been totally made over. And so to have an opportunity to share that with other people, because our life really does focus around those 5 areas. And so if you're not prospering spiritually, and that's whatever you believe, so spiritually, mentally, physically, financially, and in your relationships. See, the thing is, and because I said them out of order, so let me say relationships and then financially. When we're not prospering in those first 4 areas, then we're never going to prosper in the 5th. And so too often people are so busy looking at their money and they can't figure out why they can't get their money right. But it's because the other 4 areas are so messed up. And one of the things that I love about this conference is it's a very non-intimidating environment for people to come together, and everyone there is just trying to get better. I love fellowship and I love going to church. I go to Reed Temple and I enjoy going there on Sundays. But sometimes when you go to church, it can be intimidating. Sometimes when you're in your stuff, and so people play church so well. So they go, they dress nice, they talk a certain way, they know what words to say, they know when to say amen, they know when to say hallelujah, they know how to finish the sermon, they know how to finish the verse. And so you could be sitting there like, yeah, I just opened up my Bible yesterday. And so you could really be intimidated and think, I can never be good enough, or I can never, ascribe to be, what Christ has called me to be in my life. And I feel like at the Extreme Makeover, it's an environment where that doesn't happen, because you have people who share from their lives. And so they don't stand up there and talk about how perfect they are. I love when Shantae and Mark talk about their marriage seminar. Now, me and Pat made a decision, high five above the head, bam, that we're going to sneak in there. Because you kind of got to know where you're going if you want to get there.
That's right.
But I haven't had a chance to go, but I love, because I'm always in a single session, but I like to hear them talk about, their marriage hasn't been perfect, but it's been perfect for them. And they've had, ups and downs and milestones. And again, talking about when people play, they play marriage too. And so one thing about Facebook, and I know we streaming live, but y'all know what I mean. You put this out, people put this image of themselves out there. And I know for a fact that these marriages are failing. I sit down with people all the time. Communication is off. They're not on the same trajectory. They don't have the same goals. They're not even going to the same space. It's a mess, but nobody's...
They drive everywhere in separate cars.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my God.
We going to ride together, honey.
Get in the sides. Get in the car. But, I mean, that and so much more occurs, and then it affects the children. Why this conference is so amazing is because we're dealing with all of that. We're hitting the husbands, the wives, the children, because believe it or not, your children know what's going on. They realize when it's real and it's not real. And guess what? If they haven't realized it yet, they will one day. And then when they come back and figure it out, then they just messed up because of that. And so in this conference, in this environment, you get fed by people who have been through some things. It's nothing like, I have this meme that I keep on my phone, and it's Martin making this crazy face, but it says, the face you make when somebody who's never done what you're doing trying to tell you what to do. And earlier today in our training session, we had a world-renowned, he's karate, right? Karate championship, 9 world titles. And he talked about that, how with all his world titles, that people who never even won one competition will come to him and try to give him advice. And so one of the things I love about our conference is, again, you have people there who have experience, who have attained a level of success locally and internationally, and they're coming to share. And guess what? It's not going to cost you $200. It's not going to cost you $300. I think about the time we were in Florida and Oprah was in town, and how people were scrambling around trying to get the Oprah tickets to the Verizon Center. And the only thing that kept coming in my head was, okay, so she has a group, and I'm not taking anything from Oprah or her circle, but people were fighting to get into the Verizon Center because they wanted a ticket to be at Oprah's event. At the end of that event, you were not going to speak to Oprah. You were not going to speak to Ayanna. You were not going to speak to anybody else that was on that stage. And so for $300, you sat there all day and listened to somebody tell you, just like Gerald said earlier, stuff you may have known already before. But just because she slapped her name on that, you fought to get in there. And I look and I say, yeah, but her experience and your experience are this far apart. You can come to the Extreme Makeover and you could be around people that's in this, they in this with you. We're in local, we're in this area, we're here with you. We sit down with couples all the time. You have an opportunity. I've spoken with people after the conference. Lives totally changed. Totally left the conference and enacted some of the things that they heard. Yes. Actually put in place some of the ideas and things. Something that was said in yours, we still laugh about. So Pat did a single session, and my sister still cracks up and we laugh about when you talked about how sometimes women will go on dates. And they're sitting at the date, and on the first date, they didn't plan the wedding, the honeymoon, the everything. The man ain't saying nothing but hi. And you're like, oh, how's the marriage going? And you didn't plan out everything. And so we still laugh about that because it's just things that we do. And so, but it's such a wonderful environment to discuss that. Yes. And, you know, I always encourage people, bring your children, bring your teens, because in that, you think one thing. It's a movie that came out. I lost the name of the movie, but the guy, somebody kidnapped his daughter. And then he found out by chance because he happened to look on her because she wasn't where she was supposed to be. But when they started to ask him questions about his child, he couldn't answer any questions. He didn't know who her best friends were. He didn't know who she hung out with. And ultimately, they had to dig through the internet and all her social media to figure out where this child was. And when I was watching the movie, I thought about how many parents don't really know their kids. They think they do, but they really don't. Right. Because they've learned to pretend, just like you have. And so in the youth workshop, we're going to talk about those things. You know, I'm hoping to get a speaker to come in and talk about the violence that's going on. Do people even know the amount of domestic violence that happens at high schools? That these young kids they're starting early, elementary. That the kids have their hands on other kids. What are the signs? You know, my daughter talks about writing papers. She go to A&T. But the culture of rape that exists at colleges. Wow. See, these are things that need to be discussed because these are real issues. And these are the real things that are going on. And so by coming to this conference, we're going to have some real talks about some real issues so that we can get better together. Right. Like you said, we in the conferences. We don't even want to go to our sessions because we enjoy spending. What we're being poured into so awesome. Is absolutely amazing. So I encourage everybody to come. Take a day. You get breakfast, lunch, and a snack. Come on.
So we got you covered.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know y'all like to eat. So just come for that. And so I was like, don't just come for that. But awesome.
It's so amazing because the last conference, I had to book an extra hour because we couldn't get our guests to leave when it was over. Yeah. So we booked an extra hour, and I had all the speakers on the stage, and they could ask them questions. Mm-hmm. So it was an hour with the speakers, and the hour was over, and they were still sitting there. And I said, guys, really, it's over. We had the beautiful hotel at the Preserve right up from Maryland Live. Mm-hmm. Absolutely beautiful hotel. We take the whole conference floor, and I mean, it's just amazing, the environment. When you get off the elevator, it's like, boom, you're there in the space, and you could just feel the success, the positivity, the Spirit of God just flowing through that space. And we're just so excited about that, but the folks really enjoy. Wouldn't you say, Pat?
Oh, yeah, I would say that. And I want to go back to something you said that was so key. And I didn't realize this until recently about domestic violence when we said we were going to do that. And you said they're starting early. And I remember and reflected, I was in domestic violence at a very young age. And so I remember a guy hitting me, going through that. I am young. Like, why am I even going through that? And of course, you can't tell nobody that you've gone through that. And it only happened a couple times because I got out. But that was really, when you look back, that was the grace of God. But how many people stay?
Yes, amen.
How many people stay? I was young enough, and I thank God today. I probably wouldn't have said I thank God that I went through it, because now as an adult, I don't play. So I recognize if a dude has a temper and all that, I'm not fooling with it. I love myself enough to say no. But when you're young and you don't have no guidance, and see, when you're a teenager and you're rebellious like I was, and you thought you was grown, you have no one to tell. And we try to help teenagers recognize that the adults have been placed in your life to protect you. The mother God gave you was there to protect you. And even if your mother don't understand you, God has set up a conference where you can get some new mentors, where you can get some people, where you need to tell people what's going on and hear it, because sometimes when we're in love, because I was in love with my dude, okay? But it went weird. It went to the left. But you got to be around some people that can help you get your head out the cloud and say, sugar, and let them be around you in your relationship so you can see all that ain't really what that is.
Right.
But if you never bring anybody into your circle, and that's what the Extreme Makeover Conference does, because you get connected. You get connected with other women, other men, people that you wouldn't have otherwise connected with. We coming from all walks of life. No judgment. You get to come into a room where your life gets stirred up. The gift that is inside you, the gift that may have been laying dormant because you've been afraid to move out. You've been afraid to do things. That gift, that thing in you that you said you wanted to do years ago, we begin to tap in it by the Spirit of God, and you feel empowered to do what you got to do. And not only empowered, but you actually have enough fortitude to go and do it, even in the smallest steps. So we are trying to get you into a space, because God created it where you can't do it by yourself. And he wants you to rub lives with other people, because we learn so much from each other.
Yes.
And it keeps you humble. I know it keeps me very humble to realize that I don't have it all together. And yes, the enemy tries to get us all off task, because he is like, you ain't all the way where you need to be. How you going to do an extreme makeover? Because I'm going to do my part, because it's God that uses us. He uses broken things, things that limp. And that's why I don't want you to not feel like you can't come into this space because you're not all the way together. You come like you are and be prepared to be imparted to and to impart, because you might just be sitting having lunch and somebody encourage you. And then while you're at lunch, I'm a Zoom instructor. We're going to dance.
We're going to dance. So be comfortable.
To inspire you.
Yes.
The whole time. Awesome. It's a whole time to move your body, because when you're moving physically, your endorphins are racing and you feel good, and you're just like, oh wow, what's So we're gonna help you work on all of that, and it is a process, and we're gonna get in it and just stay in it. Amen. Day by day, and you go one day at a time, and let your day of reckoning to be made over begin on Saturday, October 20th.
Absolutely.
I need you to register.
Absolutely. Go register on www.jonesjewels.com. Register for the Extreme Makeover Conference. We're going to take a quick break, come back with some more of our speakers that will be at the conference, and I can't wait to share with you the second half. And always remember, broken crayons still color.
Yes.
We're going to talk about that. Thank you guys so much.
I love it.
Gotta go where God leads.
All righty. Okay. Well, welcome back. Thank you guys so much for joining us on the second half of our show. We're so excited by the two other guests, two other extreme makeover speakers that's going to be at the conference, guys. Is the first half we had a ball with you with the awesome Patricia Richmond and Andrea Jackson, but we have so many folks that are going to be standing before you at the conference, and we have two more here with us that we want to introduce to you, and we have the awesome Rosalind Law with our health coach, and we so excited about having her in the room, and she has so much more to give than just health. It's just an awesome leader. And the great Sherman Nelson. Yes, Sherman. Yes, we do have men. Okay, so we do have men speakers, and shout out to Rashad Votai Mills. That would be one of the men speakers, and our awesome Mark McPhee. That'll be one of the men speakers at the conference. So the men's workshop, when they go for their workshop, they don't want to come back and join us. They're so excited about their workshop. And people and we're excited because William Green is going to be in there with the event this year, Dr. Tashika's husband. And so we believe in partnership. We believe in the institution of marriage. And so you're going to see some couples that stand up and be real with you. You understand that? So we're excited about that. So let's go ahead and get started with Rosalind, our health coach. Rosalind, we share with our guests how you feel about the Extreme Makeover Conference and what's your part. How are you going to impact them with what you share?
Yes, Lisa, thank you. I am so excited. I'm very excited about the Extreme Makeover. Family style. I love it. I love the fact that the whole family can come. Can little babies come too?
12 and up.
Yeah, 12 and up.
Amen.
Right. Be clear, 12 and up for sure. But yes, the conference next week is here upon us. We got to register, get the people to come because I have something to say. Did you know I put a flyer on Facebook? I said, I have something to say.
That's right.
And I'm going to get real personal. So we're talking about cycles. There's life cycles. And the one life cycle that I'm going to key in on is menopause.
Oh,
menopause. And so let me tell you real quick why.
Okay.
Because I had a client one time that was came to me because she had some issues with weight gain. And it was around the same time when she was going through the cycle of menopause. So, we got to eating straight and nutrition, what you should eat and everything, because that's what people come to me for mostly. But then she came to share with me, sitting down on the couch, that she had some issues at her job, that people were very, very mean to her and didn't understand what she was going through. So she came to work one day, and her fan was missing. And she broke out and cried. I mean, it was serious. And what brought to my mind was that the people around her didn't understand what she was going through, this cycle, menopausal cycle. And not only the women, but the men in your life need to know about it too. Everybody need to know about the cycle, this whole cycle, this life cycle of menopause. Your children, your co-workers, people that go to church, because everybody is affected. Not only just the weight gain part, and that's serious too, because did you know that most people that go through menopause are going to gain at least 10 pounds? At least 10 pounds.
Wow. My eyes, I ain't got no room for 10 pounds.
Right. I was like,
that's what I'm saying. And if most people knew that,
we would eat healthier now.
You would
be on it, like right now.
You be on it.
And I'm trying to be on it right now because it's ridiculous. Something is happening right now.
I gained 10 pounds. People might not, people talk about me when I talk about that, but I'm not comfortable. And you have to be comfortable with yourself. And so these are the things that I'm going to talk about, as well as the foods that you should eat during that time. There's foods that you can eat that will combat the night sweats, the mood swings, the migraines. There's foods that you're going to get. Most people get. Now, some people say, I don't get all of that during menopause. but most people do. If not one, two, and all of them, some people get something.
Right.
Wow.
And so that's what I'm going to bring to the females at the women's conference. And really, I wish the men would be able to be in there too, because men need to hear about it. Let me say this. Research says that 75% of marriages break up because of menopause.
Wow.
People that have been married for 25, 30 years, you know, when they get married young, and then the female reaches menopause stage, the husband doesn't even know who
can't
she
deal
is.
with it. Right.
Wow,
Now,
that's
you know
heavy.
something, Rosalind, is I'm starting to hear about people experiencing that at a younger age, because we put a lot of different experiences on age. And so you thought that was an older age experience, but now I'm hearing people like in their 30s saying that they are experiencing menopause.
Yes. You can start at 30. You can start at 30. for sure.
Wow. Because you thought of it as being a 50 and older. I mean, I haven't reached that age yet. But you thought about it being the older age.
Yes.
But it's and we need to know the signs. What are the signs of it? Because I've heard people say, I think I'm in menopause, but they don't know for sure. So we'll get to learn the signs of it.
The sign. And some people, like you just said, some people say, oh, you know, I think I'm going through menopause. Really, menopause is when everything has paused. Has stopped for at least 1 year.
Really? I didn't think of the pause.
So this is
part.
like pre-menopause.
So what these things that are happening, these signs are premenopause.
Hold on now. So
The signs are
if the men
premenopause.
pause, if the men
That's
pause
smart.
for
I didn't
a
think
year.
about the pausing part. Okay, so that is really something.
And so once you
know?
start experiencing those things, and what it is hormones.
Right.
And so that's what I'm going to go into. Just, I'm excited about it. I can't wait. I got to bring this information to them. Like I said, I wish it was to the men too, but.
Absolutely. Okay. Well,
Somebody
that is
do live while
absolutely.
you're doing it.
Yeah,
We'll
that's
put it out
that's powerful. So I'm looking forward. See, you guys. So now you can understand why I said every time we put on this conference, I want to register as an attendee, and because I just want to sit down and gain wisdom. The Word of God says that the meek shall inherit the earth. The word meek means learned one. We're always supposed to be learning, and so at this conference, you're going to have the opportunity to learn so much. Like Andrea shared, and I've been blessed to write the book, The Extreme Makeover, and so God gave me the vision to write that book when I was experiencing stage 4 cancer, and I finished that book while I was going through that experience. And he said, teach the people how to prosper in all 5 areas: spiritual, mental, physical, relationships, and financial. And so you're getting a taste of these great speakers. We're talking about the physical that Rosalind is going to address with you. What foods should we avoid? What are our eating habits? I've attended 5 funerals in the last 5 months, and everybody died from cancer or some sort of illness. And let me tell you, it's mostly because of what we're eating, what we're putting in our body is killing us. And so we have to be educated on the proper nutrition. And so Rosalind is going to bring that forth, and she'll have her table there to give you cooking instructions. She wrote a cooking book. Give it up for Rosalind. That's awesome. And so she's going to give you the instructions, because we're going to assume that people just don't know any better. See, one of the mistakes, Sherman, I think we make is thinking that everybody should know certain things. But some things weren't taught to us. And I always tell my agents that just because your body grew up don't mean you did. Yeah. And so some things were never taught us. And so we're sitting back judging that person, laughing at that person, and pointing at that person, and you have to stop it. See, what I do when I see somebody obese, because I dealt with that, I deal with that. That's been a struggle in my life, right? And so I'm beating that challenge. Is I say, God, raise up somebody. When I see somebody dressed a certain way that's not appropriate, I immediately go and pray and say, God, raise up somebody in that person's life to teach them, because I don't want to assume that somebody taught her how to dress. class
Yeah.
or taught him how. I don't want to assume that they knew. Some people never been taught, okay? And so that's why you have to come to these type of events to gain wisdom, because the meek shall inherit the earth.
Yes,
and if
Lisa
you're not
Jones.
constantly learning, you ain't going to inherit nothing.
Right.
And so that's why you need
Period.
to invest in yourself. Why is it so easy for us to go spend $50 eating at a fast food restaurant, food that ain't going to stay in your belly but so long, or wasted on clothes, right? But we won't invest in bettering ourselves as a person. Every time I want to take my income to another level, I go into personal development, okay? In 1 Corinthians it says, do you not know that in every race, every runner runs, and he runs in a way to get the prize? He says, I beat my body into subjection. I'm telling you, you got to be at this conference so that you can beat your body into submission. Okay? And so invest in yourself. You won't regret it, because you guys can see there's some power sitting at this table. Let me go over to my brother. I adore this man of God. He is our brother. Give it up for our brother.
Man.
He is our brother, man. He and his amazing wife, Precious, they're going to be there at the conference and so on. But Sherman, just talk about how you feel about the conference, and then what should the men expect? We want to get the men, get your husbands there.
Yeah.
We want to get your boyfriends there, or man friends there. Or the one you want. No, okay.
He can come.
Listen, and the leaders need to come, because one of the things about leaders is they feel like they don't have to go to these events anymore.
That's right.
But you're still breathing, aren't you? Life's still happening, right?
Come on now.
And so you need to come and sit in the room.
Absolutely.
And sometimes I want to go to stuff, Sherman, I don't want to speak.
Right.
I want to be a student.
That's
You
right.
don't ever stop being a student. Come sit in the room, humble your heart, and take some notes. Sherman, talk about the conference.
Yeah, it's thank you, Lisa, for the intro. The truest thing you said is every year I've wanted to leave our sessions to go listen to other sessions.
That's right.
Because many of us have a Martha mentality. And so there were two women in the Bible, Mary and Martha. And Mary was always wanting to hear the word. Martha was always busy. And many of us have a Martha mentality, because we're always doing something. And then we get angry when other people sit at the feet of Jesus and hear the word. So Martha said, Lord, how you going to let her just sit there while I'm doing all this work? And he said something profound that we usually overlook. He said, but she's chosen the better thing. Because there's a time when you just have to sit down and be taught.
In the room.
How do you even, one of my mentors, and she's not an official mentor, but she is a mentor. Her name is Lisa M. Jones. She says, people don't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
How you going to know what you don't know till you come and hear some new information? And it was at the conference, meeting you all, that I realized that I could skate through life here. But God wasn't going to let me. So he introduced me to a whole bunch of other people who are daring me to live life up here. And so now I don't really have a choice. And now I have a daughter. And she's got to understand that down here is cool if that's all you have. But if God has built you to be more, then we need you to be at your highest and best.
And most of us, he has.
And this conference is, when I say life-changing, people use life-changing. I went to a restaurant. This food was life-changing. It wasn't. It was just good.
That's right.
It was tasty, but I saw this movie. Black Panther was life-changing. It wasn't. It was a really good movie. It's really good to see, but it didn't change my life. This conference is where you are fed, where you are comforted yet challenged, where you are embraced yet empowered. And you're not getting that in the world. The world will challenge you, but it don't comfort you. It says it's empowering you, but it definitely don't embrace you.
Right.
So at this conference, I look forward to hearing the people after. They come in going, yeah, I thought this would be interesting. I thought it'd be informative. And I didn't realize I'd come out different.
Yes.
One of my goddaughter's husband, they're going away on travel. And he was like, is there any way we could reschedule our trip? And I was like, son, you're going to get divorced. Telling that woman that she cannot go to that island because you want to come to this conference. But I'm glad that a guy is that excited about coming to hear the word. Yes. And so I am. All right, so here's. Yes. Okay. So apparently,
she was like, "I'm getting."
This is the next generation of Extreme Makeover Conference. They will keep it moving forward. After we're gone.
Apparently, I was supposed to be. I'm on daddy duty, and my daughter was supposed to sit over there. But she sees these 4 anointed, powerful women, and she recognizes that she can learn a lot from daddy. That's right. But she can only learn how to be a woman from her mommy and the other women in her life. And so I ain't mad at her for wanting to be close to us. That's right. But fellas, we got something to say to y'all. I'm gonna snatch Rosalind's line. I got something to say. Because duct tape don't fix everything.
Yes, Lord.
See, duct tape is good if nothing has to move.
What?
See, if you're putting something together and all it has to do is sit still in a corner, duct tape can work. But one of the signs of life is that you move. Duct tape don't work on living things. And so you're trying to duct tape yourself, you're trying to duct tape your spouse, you're trying to duct tape your children, and it doesn't work. Instead of being, you got to learn how to be more than just a handyman. Sometimes you got to be a hardy man. Sometimes you got to be a heady man. But all times you got to be a holy man. So if you want to know what those things are, you got to come here. And by holy, I don't mean church.
Right.
In many instances, I mean the exact opposite of church. Because church is high on hypocrisy and low on holiness.
Right.
I'm talking about you got to be different. We're going to the root of what the word holy means. You got to be different. You got to be set apart from everybody else. I wear my pants up for 2 reasons. 1, because they're supposed to be up.
Right. How about
2, because I can't wear them sagging if that's what everybody's doing. I speak well to my daughter. I speak well of my wife. I buy gifts for them because that's different. Because the average cat is not, I can't live life being average. And there's so many brothers out here. You are misled into believing that you got to be Superman. She don't want you to be Superman. She just wants you to be a man.
See, how about that?
You don't gotta say it. Because you can't get to Superman until you started man.
In the back.
It really should be man super.
That's right.
Because you got to be a man at the core. And then we can talk about whether you can go faster than a speeding bullet and jump over tall buildings and all that other stuff. But in the instances that I've run across, guys are trying to fix living things with non-living remedies, and they don't work.
Ooh, that's
You're trying to be handy, but sometimes you gotta not do. You gotta feel.
Yeah.
And sometimes you gotta not feel. You gotta think.
Yeah.
But all the time you gotta do that differently. So we got something that's gonna pick y'all up.
Yeah.
We got something that's gonna pick y'all up. I am
It is
excited.
It is so much wisdom at this table, and I'm telling you, wisdom is the key to getting through some things.
Yep.
You know, we don't even know how to get out of some of the things that we get in, and you have to put yourself in places that you can gain wisdom. But not only will you be able to hear from these great speakers, guys, but you will have the opportunity to book them as your mentor. You will have the opportunity to stay in touch with these guys. We have accepted our responsibilities to be servant leaders in the DMV area. We're proclaiming this area. We're decided that we're going to take it over and that we're going to impact the communities and we're going to give back in some kind of way. Each of us live a very busy life. God has called us to do many things, okay? And so, but we have dedicated that twice a year minimum, we will have something, that a conference that we would bring people in to one space and that you would get so much power that day that you will leave there a totally different person. So we're going to sum this up with a few words from our speakers, and we definitely want to give another shout out to Dr. Taskeka Green.
Yes.
Oh my God, she's one of the speakers at her cycle, because the theme of this conference is called cycles, okay? And so in her cycle that she's going to talk about is being double-minded.
Yeah.
The cycle of being double-minded. Some of us are living double lives, right? So it's time for a renewing of the mind, okay? Because it starts in the mindset. Change your mind, you'll change your bank account.
No doubt.
Say what?
Change your mind, you'll change your zip code.
Right.
And change your mind, you'll change your friends. Because if you hang with 4 broke folks, you're going to be number 5.
Well,
it's just the way it is. See, eagles like hanging with eagles, and
Yes.
chickens want to hang with chickens.
Yes.
Eagles love to soar, but chickens, they like to flock.
ground.
And so these are eagles right here. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here with me. They might be here with somebody, but it won't be me because I make sure that I hang with eagles. And so when God said, go find your circuit of speakers, I started looking for eagles. And there were signs and things I was looking for, not people that are ego tripping. We're not ego tripping because if God is call us to just accept the tickets at the door, a lot of times I'm the CEO of the event, and most times I don't even get to speak.
Yeah.
You understand? Because I want to give you guys some of these folks, you know? I want you to hear that. So I'm not ego tripping because for us, they're not either. Because for us, it's about the people and not about us.
Yes.
And I will never connect myself or attach myself to anybody who's there for them.
Yes.
You got to be there for the people.
Right,
and that's what we are there for. So all of this power right here, they've all said to me, Lisa, if you feel like that day that my role is just to accept the tickets at the door, I trust the assignment that God has on your life and the assignment he has for this conference. And that means the world to me. But I can't let y'all miss this. There's too much power right here. So, Andrea, just in a few words, just sum up, you know, what you would like to share with everyone.
Okay, so I'm so full right now. Just listening. I was listening to Sherman, and I was thinking about a paper my daughter wrote, and it was talking about the I forgot the full name of the paper, but it was talking about masculinity and in the Black community and how environment and just what's been projected on the Black male to try to interpret what does it mean to be masculine. And because of that, the breakdown in the community, because many don't know what that means, and because outward things have now determined the inward you, then it's just this broken culture. And so when I think about, you know, getting a man to this conference and knowing that you could touch another man by bringing another man there, and maybe you have something to add. And so with my part doing with Cycles and the women's conference, we're going to talk about this reclaiming your time, because too often we waste as women a lot of time in the past. We look too often in the rearview mirror instead of looking forward and what's coming. And so how do we reclaim that piece of us? Forgiveness, which is huge. You talked about earlier, you said, you know, high emotions equal low intelligence. And I've been blessed. It's a double-edged sword, but I'm not a very emotional person. So because of that, then I find myself not in typical situations that some females find themselves in. But I think that it's still something to be said, because there's a nurturing piece that makes us emotional like that. But that can also be a hindrance. And so because when it comes to forgiveness and being able to move on with your life, you're caught in that emotional space and you can't. And so I just want to encourage people to invest in you. I told somebody earlier, price is only an issue in absence of value. And so you find value in going to Amazon every day and spending $100 to $150 a day at Amazon. You know, you find value, like you said, you know, Friday to me is National Eat Out Night. Everybody eats out on Friday. I don't care what race, culture, creed, everybody seems to eat out on Friday. But you find value in going to make your waistline larger. And so you don't mind dropping $100, $200 at a food place. All these different things, shoes, clothes. But the minute somebody says invest in you, all of a sudden you're thinking about your schedule and your time and your what does any of that have to do with anything when we're talking about invest in you?
Invest in you.
So I encourage people, take this opportunity to invest in you. Out of all the $100 that you spend, and it's $99, but out of that money that you spend on yourself for the month of October, I promise you with 100% guarantee that this is the one that will give back.
Yep.
And so I encourage everybody to attend.
Awesome. That's powerful. Invest in you. You got to fix the inner me.
Right.
The
Yes.
inner
The
me.
inner.
Okay? Patricia, sum this up for our guests. They're all registered right now on www.jonesjewels.com. Oh my gosh, the men's workshop, duct tape don't fix everything. Thank you so much, Andrea, for helping us with the theme, and the theme of the whole conference is cycles. Who wrote the song Cycles?
Jonathan McReynolds.
Jonathan McReynolds have a song out called Cycles, and that's where we got our theme from. We're gonna talk about life, true things that's really happening, because a lot of times you're sitting in a room and you wondering, do anybody know I'm hurting right now? I have a smile on my face, but inside I'm hurting. See, that was me, and I had to come through that. So I'm gonna talk to you about how I came through cancer and dealing with that, and how angry I was when I was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. I'm gonna share that cycle, because one of the things that God taught me is, Lisa, that's not your story. That's just a scene in your story.
Yes.
Right.
And so one of the reasons why some folks can't move on is because they keep reliving that scene over and over. But when you go to the movies, they don't show the same scene the whole movie. But you still in the scene that happened 10 years ago. It's not your story. It's just a scene in your story. Let that scene go and let's move on. Go ahead, talk. I don't have nothing to say.
I love her.
Come out there like,
I
come up to that.
She's so passionate, and this is why I'm so glad that God connected us. Listen, good people, you have to decide that you want something different. And different is different. If you've never been to something like this, never invested in yourself, went to a conference, you don't know nobody, good.
Right.
It's time for you to know new people. And I'm not even saying that your other people that you don't know aren't good, but you have to be the person that comes and do something about your place where you are right now. And so if you want something different, do different. Come to this space where God, because he's going to meet us at the room, okay? He's going to be at the hotel.
He's going to be there.
He's going to be at the hotel. And so come to the hotel, because God will, and if you believe in God, you're going to bring him too, because God wants to meet you and speak to you and encourage you right where you are. This conference, all of the speakers that are going to be there, Dr. Vicki Johnson is coming.
Yeah.
You know, we love her. Okay, Vanessa Elam. Google these folks, because they are going to be there to bless you. We are here. Rosalind, myself, everybody here has said, yes, we want to see people change. And guess who gets changed first? We do.
Right.
We are the first in line to be changed. God has called us to encourage you. So I want to see you at the conference. www.jonesjewels.com.
Hey, listen, we have a speaker that's going to be there, the awesome Lisa Bryson. She started an organization. She's the CEO and founder of Praising Through Recovery. And she's going to share with you how she went from being a preacher's kid to on the streets using heroin. And so she's going to share with you the life and how she was introduced to the world of drugs and how God rescued her from that world. I'm telling you, I will have tissues and the registration bag. But she is coming. That is, from now on, this is the first one. Extreme Makeover will be sponsoring a business that have outreach to the community, because that's what we're about. And so I will be awarding her a check for Praising Through Recovery. She has several homes that she has opened that help men and women to come through that cycle of their life, because so many has been drawn into the world of drugs and alcohol and so on. So she has dedicated her life to going to the streets that she prostituted on to get those people and bring them and help them recover. When you see this sister, she don't look like what she been through.
Right.
You don't want to miss this. I'm telling you, we are so excited about her being one of our speakers at this conference, guys. We are bringing to you some awesome substance. Rosalind, give us a minute of why they should be there.
So what I like to say is, I want to request the younger people to come, the younger adults to come, because you may not know why now, but you'll know why later.
Exactly.
And I wish, and I'm sure a lot of you all wish, that you had this type of platform.
Amen.
To be able to learn at a younger age, so that you can apply it later on in your life. I encourage the younger people to come. It's something for everybody. If you're younger, female, and you have a boyfriend, bring him with you.
Please bring him.
Bring him with you so that Sherman can deposit in his life.
Amen.
Yeah.
Sherman and Rashad.
And Rashad.
Please bring
the
him.
men.
Mark.
Absolutely. So
Yes.
that's what I like to say. Please
good.
come register today.
Amen. Sherman, a minute.
Yes, fellas, come on out. Come and be made better.
Yeah.
Our women don't need any more broken men, because broken men just break people.
Yeah.
And if you have, ladies, if you have a man in your life that you love or you like, or you want us to vet him for you, bring him. Because we'll vet him. I'll tell you after the conference whether or not you should move forward.
There you go.
I trust God's
That's good.
discerning spirit on my life.
Amen.
Number one. Number two, I trust what my eyes see and what my nose tell me. And if
Well,
it don't smell right, I'm going
ain't
to tell
right.
you that he ain't right.
Oh, let him vet him.
So bring him on out and we'll vet him for you.
He is going to vet
Yes,
my husband.
if we don't let him, if he goes to eat lunch and we don't let him eat,
Well,
then you know that he doesn't want to eat.
Yeah.
We ain't got no time.
He make it.
That's
He
the
make it.
sign.
My pastor said,
Lazy
do you
jokers
have
don't get
a...
no sandwiches. They
He
don't
get
get
a
no
cut.
sandwiches.
My pastor said, do you have a man or a male?
Because there is a distinct difference.
It is a difference.
There's a difference.
And do you have a wife or a knife?
well.
It's a difference. Okay, so bring them out so Sherman can vet them for
We'll
you.
vet them for you.
Amen.
We'll vet 'em
Yes.
for you.
Amen.
Well, this has been an absolutely awesome show. Once again, thank you, Dr. Taskeka Green, for trusting us
Yes.
to be here on your behalf. We're looking forward to celebrating with you tonight.
Yes.
Thank you to all of the Extreme Makeover
Yes.
speakers. Woo! Y'all gave them a taste.
Harper.
Listen, we
And
shouldn't
Harper.
have to oversell why somebody should invest in themselves, but you
right.
guys did an amazing job selling them the conference. We look forward to seeing all of you there. It will be standing room only. Get your face in
Get
the
your
place.
ticket.
Go to www.jonesjewels.com
jonesjewels.com.
and register for the Extreme Makeover for the family.
Yay.
See you there. Yes.
Hey.
Awesome.
So that everyone can see His goodness and His mercy, how His grace covers me. You gotta go where God leads. You gotta shine so people can see. You gotta grow where you are and know that God will keep you. You gotta grow where God leads. You gotta shine so people can see. You gotta grow where you are and know that God will keep you. Many are the plans of man, but only God's plan will prevail. Don't be weary in well-doing. All you have to do is keep going. Have faith and believe, and know one day you'll receive all the blessings that's for you. He is going to see you through. You gotta go where God leads. You gotta shine so people can see.